Hi, I'm Felipa, and this is day 31 of reading the Bible every single day for a year. So we are on October 1st, and today I read, it's a very big book, the fourth book of Moses, Numbers, and I started on chapter 10, the Israelites travel from Sinai to Paran, and I ended on chapter 14, basically the people murmur at the news. So essentially, we start on the cloud being over the tabernacle and the children of Israel journeying into the wilderness of Paran and out of the wilderness of Sinai. And then we just have basically a bunch of information on how that travel took place and who was the host of the tribes. The next part is Moses prayed to the Lord because people were complaining about things, and because it displeased the Lord, he basically consumed all the people. Because of his anger, he burnt them, and Moses prayed to him and said, "Please don't do this," and the fire was quenched. So the people are now complaining that they don't have access to meat and that they don't have access to a variety of foods, and they only have manna, which is a coriander seed. And so it upsets the Lord that people are complaining, and it upsets Moses because he says in chapter 11, verse 11, Moses said, "Wherefore hast thou afflicted thy servant? And wherefore have I not found favor in thy sight, that thou layest the burden of all this people upon me?" So Moses is saying, like, this is too much. I have basically all of these people complaining and saying that you're not feeding them and you're not giving them what they were promised, and it's too much for me. And so God hears him and he says, I will share your burden with 70 of the top elders of our community. And so I wrote down these couple of things. Because Moses is essentially like God's advisor and God's ear, I was thinking, is Moses the only person with a level of awareness where he is fully awake and fully ascended? And that's why he feels this burden, because he has empathy and compassion and he is having to help all these people. And meanwhile, all the people are maybe operating on a more primitive level, and that's why they're complaining and they're not as enlightened as Moses is. And this is why he feels such a heavy burden. Because the Lord specifically says that he says, "I'll talk with thee, and I will take of the spirit which is upon thee, and I will put it upon them, the elders, and they shall bear the burden of the people with thee, that thou bear it not thyself alone." So this also makes me kind of think that God is saying he's going to take this ascended consciousness and this heightened self-awareness and awareness of the people and how things work in the world and how people react and how they behave and how they think, so that he's going to take this higher consciousness and awareness that Moses has, and God's calling it the spirit, and he's saying that he will share it with these 70 elders so that they can also carry that burden. And then I also wrote, "And is God not willingly giving people a variety of food and meat to test their faith or to build character by restricting their options and access? Is he testing their loyalty to God? Is he perhaps trying to prevent gluttony? Is he teaching people that you don't need a lot to survive, you just need faith? Or is he perhaps controlling their excess and greed? Is he showing them that all they have to do is ask and ye shall receive? And is he showing people they have a choice? So is he showing them that all you have to do is just ask and God will give it to you? And then we go on, and God's quite upset. So he says, "You know what? I'm going to give you all this food that you're complaining that you don't have, and you're not going to have it all in one day. I'm going to force feed you basically for a whole month until it comes out your nostrils." And it's quoted in here as that, "Because you have despised the Lord, which brought you out of Egypt." And so I feel like the lesson in this is be careful what you ask for. And then we go on, and basically he does what he said, and he sends in a bunch of flock and these birds, quail, and people eat and gorge. And the people who did that, it says, while the flesh was yet between their teeth, he smote the people with a very great plague because they lusted. And then we go into the Lord speaking unto Moses and sending men into the search of the land of Canaan to give the children of Israel. And they bring back a big stack of grapes to show that the land indeed is this promised land of milk and honey. And when that happens, the people, these soldiers, these tribes that went to go in search of the land, when they come back, they say, oh, actually, it's a very well-developed city, and all the men in it are very strong, and they're great leaders, and there's no way we can stand against them. And then all of the congregation of the people of Israel are upset, and they murmur against Moses and against Aaron and against God, saying, like, what have you done? We can't contend with these people in this new land, and what have you done to us? Why have you brought us out of Egypt? You lied to us. And God is, of course, very upset with the fact that people are ungrateful. And he basically says, I will kill everybody because you're not grateful. I will save some of your children, but I will leave the rest of you in this wilderness and you shall die. And the people basically now are regretting the fact that they were complaining. And they say to Moses, we're going to go pray and we're going to go ask for forgiveness. And Moses said, like, a little too late. And also, God saves, or he favors, it says, his servant Caleb, because he had another spirit with him and had followed me fully. Him I will bring into the land whereinto he went, and his seed shall possess it. And he said, because the people of Israel, they were complaining against the Lord, he basically says, doubtless ye shall not come into the land concerning which I swear to make you dwell therein, save Caleb the son of Jephunneh and Joshua the son of Nun. But your little ones which ye said should be a prey, them will I bring in, and they shall know the land which ye have despised. And this is basically where we end the chapter. The people complain, God kills them. He says Caleb and Joshua are going to be able to continue on to this prosperous land, but everybody else is going to die by this plague or by being killed by either tribes, because God will not protect them because they did not have faith in him. So, a very hefty chapter. And tomorrow is day 32. I start on chapter 15, the law of the meal offering and the drink offering. And I will see where that takes me. If you have any advice, any comments, any reflections, or any questions, I would love to hear them. And I will see you then.